Rebels, cosmic souls, how y'all really feeling out there? Good. I hope so. I hope so. And welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm fire because I stay bringing that heat and yes, in that order. And welcome to Black Girl Fire's Cosmic Revolution, where we are on a mission to pioneer the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company dedicated to providing economic and exposure opportunities for neurodivergent Black women within media, tech, and the art landscape, and amplifying the superpowers of being neurodivergent. And welcome. It's been a minute. Life has definitely been lifing. And today I am wearing my Stephon Watts conversation. The inspiration behind the CESSA Act that was passed in 2021. And this shirt is very important for the conversation that I want to have today. So, if you don't know, Stephon Watts was a Black boy who's neurodivergent, who was living in the suburbs of Illinois, whose life was unjustly taken away from him by a police officer. So the reason, I want to tell you the importance and the historic impact of CESSA. So the CESSA Act is basically a bill setting the precedents and the parameter of how police interact to encounters that involve people who have neurodivergency, mental health challenges, or behavior situation. So unlawful death doesn't happen. Yeah, I want to let this train pass. So basically, the CESSA Act provide a guideline that a social worker or a behavior expert must accompany a police officer when responding to calls regarding mental health, behavior, or neurodivergent situations. So an innocent person doesn't lose their life like Stephon Watts. And I also want to mention the important nature of the CESSA Act and why it's so historic and so badass. Because it's the first and only bill ever created by a BIPOC disabled collective. And yes, in that order. Now let's get to why we really here. This is the viral sensation of the beautiful moment between Tim Watts and his son Gus Walz at the Democratic convention here in Chicago this past week. And all across social media is conversation going on providing support for him, because there has people who have come out and I guess has said some nasty things about him regarding his neurodivergency. And I think it's beautiful for the moment and the support for Gus Walz that's happening. But of course, I am a disruptor. I'm here to challenge the status quo. And on all the posts that I have been seeing on social media in support for Gus Walz, of course, I've been saying, and yes, white males continues to be the face of neurodivergency. And of course, people respond to me telling me to go away, that I'm trying to hijack this moment. But I feel like the problem is that a lot of times when we having the conversations on social media, and we showing solidarity for different social causes, because a lot of time people want to feel like they are good people but don't want to have real conversation, don't want to dive deep, but just want to keep it surface level so people can feel like good people. Like, no, let's be real. Let's have a real conversation. White males continue to be the face of neurodivergency. And that which set the precedence for a whole lot when we thinking about Black women receiving late diagnosis for different neurodivergency. And the reasons is because diagnoses, the requirements and the guidelines are set from a white male perspective that leaves a lot of people out of this conversation, specifically neurodivergent Black women. And if you haven't heard of the documentary Color of Pain, shed light on this very topic and idea in this epidemic of how neurodivergent Black women pain and voices are being silenced due to medical racism and exploitation within Hollywood media. And now going back to the moment with Gus Walz, like, people tell me that I'm hijacking the moment and telling me to go away. No, I'm here to help bring more in-depth conversation regarding neurodivergency. Because let's be real, like, when we just think about neurodivergency and why a lot of us mask, because people are taking this beautiful moment and amplifying and bringing unwanted attention for him having a human experience with his father. That's what it was. He was having a human moment. It was a beautiful moment and beautiful experience that shows how Tim Walz is a beautiful human. He's a good person, that he is there for his kids. And Gus Walz showed that. That's what that was. And Gus Walz's neurodivergency was an extra layer. And like, I kind of feel like I have a problem. Like, yes, he's neurodivergent, but he shouldn't be made the face of neurodivergency. And in this viral moment shouldn't be used to take away other conversations that's been had about neurodivergency. And yes, if people feel like I'm hijacking the moment and I'm taking away from all the love and admiration that Gus Walz is getting, okay, I be that. Because neurodivergent Black women doesn't get that same grace. We don't get to have full access to have the full human experience. A lot of times we don't get permission to have the full human experience. Because I know for me, when I'm just being human and I'm just expressing myself, what has happened in the past, like, I have been attacked by police. I have been placed in psych ward. I have been threatened to been kicked out of like a university. I have been banned. I had dealt with housing discrimination, employment discrimination, and we like to say yes, yes, right now I will be like the angry Black woman right now, because I am angry, because like I really have a problem with Brandon Johnson administration right now, and they want to use the talking point that Chicago is the most accessible city in the world. I feel like that's a scapegoat for the administration and people to not really do what they need to do to help to properly enforce the ADA and to hold different institutions, different industries in Chicago accountable to properly enforce the ADA. Like me being forced to live in a mold infested apartment for over a year while a corporate landlord get away with prolonging like a case to get away to them not being held accountable for the inhumane living conditions that they provide to their tenants and expect people to pay outlandish amounts in rents, that is a problem. And for me, when I'm advocating for myself and people to give me the runarounds, and I don't get like the compassion or the empathy that I need because I'm not white or in a wheelchair, and I'm constantly told that I don't have right to file a disability discrimination complaint because I'm not in a wheelchair, or people don't want to hear what I have to say or don't want to empathize with my plight because I'm not white. That is a problem. So yes, right now I am angry, and this is why Black Girl Fire's Cosmic Revolution is so important, because I am setting new precedents. I am pioneering the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company. And 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 this is something so important right now, because like I am a 20-year traumatic brain injury survivor. I have experienced it all. Isolation to my voice being validated, to people not giving me the time or not having patience, and I learned, instead of me just being so engulfed in the problem and being overwhelmed with it, I'm going to do something about it. And that's through Black Girl Fire's Cosmic Revolution and the pioneering of the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company dedicated to providing economic and exposure opportunities for neurodivergent Black women within media, tech, and the art landscape, that's dedicated to providing them with the tools and resources to help them live a comfortable and successful life. And my whole goal behind doing this is because I don't want other neurodivergent Black women to have to go through what I went through of unjustly being placed in a psych ward, having being attacked by the police, being threatened and banned from institutions. Yes, this is what it's all about. And this is exactly what I mean when I comment on the post regarding all the admiration that Gus Walz is getting. That white males continue to be the face of neurodivergency because white males aren't the only ones who are neurodivergency. And it's time for us to stop having surface level conversation and get real, to explore all the depths and to help to think about different ways of how to autocorrect all the injustice that we are forced to live by. Because we need to be real that we all are masking in an inaccessible society. Because if you doesn't fit the status quo of what society tells you that you need to be, you are forced to mask to fit in. But today, I'm standing on business. I'm willing to disrupt the status quo by pioneering the world's first neurodivergent-focused social media production company to amplify neurodivergent Black women voices. I'm willing to stand against the crowd to help provide the tools and resources that neurodivergent Black women need to help them live a more independent, successful, and comfortable life. And yes, in that order.